I'm proudest of, my future striver, through the fine example of your love. We loved our dad dearly, and I had a hard time trying to figure out what to say. Wanda had some she wrote down, let me see. I'll read this for you. Wanda writes, I am glad that I was chosen to have a wonderful dad. He was a blessing to me. Values that I was taught, education, respect, and family. Integrity was the most important one to me as humanity. He will be remembered for his wisdom. He rarely spoke the words that I love you. But in our hearts, we know that we was loved dearly from his actions. Actions speak louder than words. I was driving down 75 yesterday, and the flag was blowing in the breeze. The sense of peace filled my heart, for he dearly loved the flag and what it stood for. Many things are going to remind me of him, a song, a smell, a feeling of peace that he is walking beside me. His memories I shall keep close to my heart. I feel in my heart that we are keeping a watchful eye on all his loved ones. I will miss my precious dad dearly. Fly high, rest in peace, your loving daughter, Wanda. That's pretty.
For those of you that don't know, I am the baby. I am not the youngest, but I am the baby of 4 girls. That's a title that means so much to me. I live for this. I have a lot to say. I'm almost 52. I was born 2 days before my dad's birthday, so I am so blessed to have had him in my life. And please, please do not cry. We had him for many years, and we're blessed to have him. So I wrote down some things. One of the definitions of memories is specific things that you recall from the past. For most of us, it is the simple things around us that spark our memories. And trust me, this past week, my mind and my heart have been flooded with memories of my daddy. Initially, when he passed, a feeling of guilt overcome me as I questioned, had I done enough for my daddy? When I came home from the hospital, the day he passed, I found my daughter, Amber, sitting in his bedroom in his hospital bed. She was wearing his camouflage robe. He wore that every day. I am sure wearing that robe and being in his hospital bed made Amber feel surrounded by his love. Later that evening, one of his caregivers, Natalie, stopped by and brought us some rings from Penn Station. We laughed. About the time we ordered my dad a sub with multi-grain bread, and my dad, not so politely, questioned, what kind of bread is this? I tried to explain, in my defense, that I was trying to make sure he was eating healthier. Later, my sister Wanda and her family came over, and all of us sat around the dining room table and shared simple memories of him. We ended up in the living room listening to a bunch of sad songs. Amber played a couple in particular, Jealous of the Angels, which trust me, I am. And Heaven Was Even a Hero, and trust me, they got one. And all of us felt a little bit closer to my daddy as those songs sparked a ton of memories. My daughter Kendra and her son came, and again we shared simple memories of him. Kendra talked about how she once drove him to pick up his medication from Kitty Hawk Pharmacy, and he got a little frustrated with her because she wasn't going the way he thought she should. And that was my dad. That night, my husband Oscar and I laid in bed. We listened to a bunch of sad songs, and both of us cried over the loss of my daddy. Even though we were sad, we both felt crying. We both felt better crying and talking about our memories. Later, my grandson came to lay in bed next to me, and I wrapped my arms around him. My head was My hand was over his chest, and I could feel his heart beating. A sense of peace overwhelmed me. As I realized at that moment, my daddy was not surely gone, because all of us are a part of him. On Saturday morning, my sisters Debbie and Wanda met me, and I'll spread the funeral home to plan things. As hard as this was, it was also satisfying to talk about our daddy and share our memories. We shared stories about his life and about things he enjoyed. One thing we joked about was how my daddy would stop at a gas station and buy a Diet Pepsi and a Reese cup, even though he was a diabetic. My dad had a love for food, especially for tomatoes, butter, and sweets. He would also always tell us, paint a smile on our face, don't let people see what you're feeling inside, because we know we're going to get through it. He was a hard worker, he valued education, and would tell us to get our education because that was one thing that no one would ever take away from us. He was a simple man and did not believe in buying new things. He never owned a brand new car, although he could afford it one. He would buy his ties at the Goodwill because he said it was cheaper than getting his ties dry cleaned. He was also fascinated by hot air balloons, and we were able to give him the experience of taking a hot air balloon ride. He loved driving feet around and looking at houses and would ask what we thought the house would sell for. He taught us that there were 3 things that sold a house. I'm sure there's lots of you here that know that. Location, location, and location. He also loved his dog Benji, probably more than some of us in his family. Amber made a beautiful video when she watched earlier. And watching that video made me happy, and I did realize just how much all of us had done for my daddy. The video also made me realize how important photographs are because they capture that memory forever. Please don't be ashamed of what you look like when someone wants to take a picture of you, because trust me, in years to come, they will not be judging what you look like, but will be so happy that they have pictures of you to spark their own memories. Some of our family wasn't able to make it here, and some of them shared some thoughts that I would like to share with you. Our cousin Keith sent us a private message and gave me permission to share. Debbie, Wanda, Pam, and Lisa, my heart is with all of you. I created this group to share my thoughts and feelings. Feel free to include others. When your dad came to Texas to visit Mom in 2018, he stayed with us for several days, and we truly enjoyed and appreciated having him with us and getting to spend time together. He shared some pictures with us that they took during that visit. Your dad, in my earliest childhood memories, your dad is my earliest childhood memories, and he helped raise me. He knew I was fascinated with faraway places, and he would bring me back to places like a sombrero from his El Paso training trip. There was a reason why I ended up with a Mexican. Apart from my dad and our grandpa Charlie, he had the most important impact on who I became. Whenever I was in Ohio, he, Virgil, and I would go to breakfast and spend an hour or so just talking. Those were good times. I know you all are hurting, but he is in a better place. Honor him through your actions and pass along his wisdom and teachings. And this is from our cousin Jeanette. They actually posted on the page for the funeral home, but I wanted to go ahead and share what they wrote. I have so many fond and wonderful memories with each of you when we were young. Your dad saw potential in each of us and encouraged us to do our best. Many summers, we would earn money picking beans for him. It wasn't the money that kept me coming back. It was staying with your family and always feeling the love. I pray for each of you as the days ahead will be hard. And this is from our cousin John. When we visited after meeting some of the family for the first time, Uncle Arnold and Uncle Virgil met us at a restaurant for breakfast, and Lynn was there. Uncle Arnold was so inquisitive. Knowing a nephew he had never known. The 2 uncles were so adorable, could not help but feel the love from each of them that day. Arnold talked and listened so intently as he was taking it all in. When we left, we knew there was so much love. Hard to explain how a person can feel love after one meeting, but we did. Every time we seen him, it was the same sweet smile, and I love you, as we laughed. We will never forget your Uncle Arnold, and we love you too. I had a coworker who no longer works with me, and about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, she lost 2 people in her family back to back. And she was having a really hard time coming back to work, and I had talked to her. She was one of my surveyors, and I didn't know at the time how much the words I said to her touched her. And she sent me a message, so I want to share it with you. Hi, Lisa. I just wanted to tell you that you and your family are in my thoughts and prayers. Yesterday I fell asleep, and I dreamed about your dad's passing. I was crying in my dream, and I woke up crying. I immediately remembered you telling me how he once told you, with a smile on your face, it's going to be all right. I remember exactly where I was when you told me that. When you spoke those words, I was so stressed out, but I honestly felt like those words were spoken to him, or by him, traveled through time, came over your vocal cords, through you, and were meant for me at that moment. I even shared this sentiment with my husband back then, and told him, at that moment, your dad was my daddy too. I have never forgotten the way those words made me feel at that moment. Thank you for sharing those seemingly innocent words. For me, they were powerful and healing words to hear at a time I really needed to hear. I'm so glad you had a great life with him and many great memories. God bless you. Once again, it is the simple things that spark a memory, and pictures speak 1,000 words. So please smile big whenever someone wants a picture of you. Also, if you ever find yourself buying a Reese's cup and a Diet Pop, please remember my dad.
I just want to thank Oscar and Lisa for letting Dad come stay there. I know it was on and stuff, but thanks for taking care of him. Yeah, and we love him. It's hard to put it in words how you feel, but we really love him. And thanks everybody for coming and attending. And the Masons, everybody, just thank you for being here. Thank you.